Hello everybody, this is Bradley from RaceBeacon. Today in this video we're going to be taking a look at the targets Mick Schumacher has been set by Haas if he wants to keep his drive for next year, and also which driver could be replacing him if he fails. So we have this tweet here from Formula Racers showing the news article from F1 for All, with Mick Schumacher has been given a clear target to secure a new contract with Haas. Guenther Steiner wants more points. So let's take a look at what he's got to say. So we start off with this headline that I tell you what, I do not want to try to say quickly 5 times. Steiner sets standard for Schumacher contract extension. So adding some context for what's been going on so far this season, as they say here, Schumacher's start to the year was poor, making a series of significant mistakes, and then there's a long list: Jeddah, Monaco, Miami, that threw away vital opportunities for points. This is on top of many more mistakes throughout the course of the season as well, but those are the 3 main ones. Magnussen has had a comfortable pace advantage since the beginning of the season, but I tell you what, I feel like this has gone under the radar, but actually, when both drivers have been classified in a race, Kevin Magnussen has not finished ahead of Mick Schumacher since round 4 of the season in Imola. And now that's a massive, massive surprise, because I don't think many people have clocked on to that. Obviously, Magnussen got some great points early on at the start of the season, with a 5th getting 10 points, and a 9th with 2, and then a further 9th getting some more points as well. And this has given him a fairly healthy lead, with almost double the points that Schumacher has from this year. But as we're returning from the summer break, the target for Mick Schumacher is clear. Guenther Steiner has said in an interview with GP fans that Schumacher's more relaxed approach in recent Grand Prix could be what's helping him, because he has turned his form around, and as he says here, I would say it started in Canada. He was, in my opinion, a bit more chilled out, even if he didn't score points there. I don't know why that happened, I have no idea, don't ask me why. I just felt like he was a little bit more relaxed. And then the race after the points came, maybe it's got to do with that one, it's difficult to say with these guys. They've been racing for so long, they've got poker faces, hiding what they play and think. But he also set the very clear criteria: score more points. And now that may be easier said than done, especially in that Haas car. It's not regularly in and around the point scoring positions. But I think Mick Schumacher, with his turn of form, having now finished in the points in 2 of the last 4 races, and he's been fairly unlucky a few times this season as well, let's not forget that. And you may be thinking, well, score more points isn't a very clear target, but you know what, I think it's clearer than we think. He needs to be close to Magnussen. If he does not close down that 10-point gap to Kevin, which will involve him almost doubling his points scored in the first, well, 2/3 of the season nearly. If he can't close down that gap in these remaining races, I really don't think he'll be hanging around at Haas for too long. Magnussen is a very solid driver who is of course coming back after some time out of the sport. He started off well, he is maybe dropping off a little bit as the season is going on, but he's definitely still got the pace and he's putting in some fairly consistent performances. Whereas with Mick is a little bit more all over the place, but the form has been better. As I said, he has not been outraced by his teammate since Imola, round 4 of the season. So if that form continues, if he can pick up some more points in these remaining races, close down that gap, I see no reason that Haas don't stick with him next year. Whether or not you'd agree with keeping him, even if he does close that gap, I don't know. But for Haas, the way that they're going to see it, if he can close down that gap to Magnussen, if he can cut out the crashes, which he has been a little bit more recently, if he can completely eradicate that for the second half of the year now, I really do believe they will see no reason to replace him, unless they have any other established Formula 1 drivers on the table. And that brings me to this latest news that we had coming out from Haas earlier today. Antonio Giovinazzi will compete in FP1 sessions for Haas at Monza and COTA, the Circuit of the Americas, in October. And now a lot of you will be thinking, well, this isn't that important. We know that these Formula 1 teams have to give a third driver an opportunity in their cars in practice sessions this season. But that rule states junior drivers. Antonio Giovinazzi does not fall into the category of junior drivers, which means this is Haas not using up their 2 slots for young and development drivers. Which makes this very significant, because I would say, especially with his links to Ferrari drives in the past and the academy there, Antonio Giovinazzi could be a go-to for Haas, especially if Mick Schumacher does not perform. Ultimately, we have 3 drivers in with a shout, I would say, for the seat at Haas. You've got Mick Schumacher. Assuming he can reach those targets, get close to Kevin, I think he'll be okay. But if he fails, you then have Antonio Giovinazzi, who's an established F1 driver. In an alternate universe, he could have had probably quite a good career. But for me, I think he's been in the wrong cars. And then you also have the third option of, I would say, a Ferrari-backed Formula 2 driver. But in the future, we'll be going over where all of these Formula 2 drivers could end up if they were to make their way to Formula 1. So stick around for that one. But Antonio Giovinazzi, is this the clearest sign yet that he could be returning? He had been linked to both the Alfa Romeo and Haas drive in the past few weeks. I would say this is the clearest bit of evidence behind those rumours that we have seen so far. You know, he's actually going to be in a Formula 1 weekend, albeit just for an FP1 session. But the fact that it's 2, and the fact that it won't count as Haas's junior driver, I think that does speak volumes that he is at least being considered. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. I always read every single comment and try to reply to as many as possible. Do you think we could be seeing Antonio Giovinazzi returning to Formula 1 in 2023? Also, let me know if you think Mick Schumacher will be able to close in on Kevin Magnussen in these remaining few races of the year as we return from the summer break. And to keep up to date with all of the latest Formula 1 stories as we return from this summer shutdown, make sure to subscribe to the channel and ring the notification bell as well to get all of the latest news and live streams as they drop. I can't wait to talk to you guys more wherever you are in the world. I hope you all have a brilliant day, and until next time, goodbye.